How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Just to let you know, my royal family, my granddaughter might be helping us record a bit today. So, I know some of y'all know about this story. And the first thing that came to mind when I heard about it was cops and karma. Literally every single day, I hear something nefarious about a pig. And he was charged today for murder. But I have some suspicions about something. So let's go over here. So, this attorney general, I think her name is Letitia James. So that would be, she's New York's state attorney. I have some suspicions about something, and I have Letitia James. And I have a bonus video. I have some things to read to the royal family. So we're going to get into it. And the first thing I want the royal family to know that the day that our royal daughter was killed by this cop, our royal daughter, she was 11 years old at the time. And in the word, 11 means, and I've said this often, this is very important, chaos, disorder, and judgment. So let's keep that on our frontal lobe. And let me get into this article. Okay? So, let me see. Let me get this all set up right here. Let's get into it. New York State trooper charged with murder in throwaway pursuit crash that killed 11-year-old. A New York State trooper was charged with murder Wednesday. Keep that on your frontal lobe. This Wednesday, for ramming a car during a police pursuit on the thoroughway, killing an 11-year-old girl, according to the state attorney general's office. Christopher Baldner, 43, is facing 1 count of murder, another count of manslaughter, and 4 counts of reckless endangerment, according to a news release from the attorney general's office. It is highly unusual for a police officer to be charged with murder in such a case. Baldner is not accused of intending to kill the girl, but instead acting with extreme disregard for her life. These charges are only allowed when the defendant exhibit warrant cruelty, brutality, and callousness against a vulnerable victim, according to a prior court decision. Keep prior court decision on your frontal lobe. The trooper stopped a family of 4 traveling on the thoroughway for speeding just before midnight, December 22nd, 2020. During the stop, the officer shot pepper spray into the car and the driver. All right? Let's keep that away. Baldner, and then the driver pursued away. And the driver is Mr. Goods. That's her father. He sped away once he was pepper sprayed. Baldner pursued the car, rammed it twice. The Attorney General's office said the second time the vehicle rolled several times, landing on its roof. The 11-year-old, Monica Good, was thrown from the car and died. Again, 11. Chaos, disorder, and judgment. This was not the first time Baldner had rammed a car. The Attorney General office said 3 of the reckless endangerment counts filed against him are for September 6, 2019, when he was accused of ramming into the back of a speeding minivan. The minivan driver lost control, slammed into the guardrail, the Attorney General office said. Baldner is facing a maximum of 25 years to life. The murder charges, according to the Attorney General's office. Okay, so all of that was announced this Wednesday. And we're gonna go back over some parts of this article because I have some suspicions about some things when it comes to this Attorney General. All right? So, let's get into this first video.
Facing serious charges, accused of deliberately running a driver off the road, killing a Brooklyn girl. Good evening, I'm Chuck Scarborough.
And I'm Natalie Pasquarella. That New York State trooper charged with murder tonight, accused of ramming a family's car during a chase.
11-year-old Monica Goods of Brooklyn died in that crash just days before Christmas last year. Investigators say her father had been stopped by the trooper, Christopher Baldner, for speeding in Ulster County before the deadly chase. And this isn't the first time the state trooper's been accused of ramming a car during a pursuit. News 4's Jessica Cunningham is on the jump right now with the charges of the investigation on the scene. Jessica?
Well, yeah, that state trooper is facing second-degree murder charges, among others, in the death of this 11-year-old Brooklyn girl who would have been 12 just last week. Now, her mother and their family attorney standing together today saying this indictment is a step in the right direction. Now, 11-year-old Monica Goods right here was killed and died after and during, actually, this police chase on the New York State Thruway up in Ulster County. This was back in December 2020. The New York Attorney General says this chase began when State Trooper Christopher Baldner used pepper spray during a traffic stop. Now, Monica's father took off when that happened. The AG says Trooper Baldner then used his cruiser to ram into the back of her father's speeding SUV, which then flipped over. Monica was ejected from that car and died. Her 12-year-old sister was seriously injured. Their mother appearing with attorneys representing her family today, saying Trooper Baldner shouldn't even have been on duty the night this happened because of two similar prior incidents.
This case is a case which is very important in this country to demonstrate that police officers, whether they're troopers, ordinary officers, can't do what this officer did, and ramming a car from behind, having had a history of that 2 times before, in which there were rams by his car in other vehicles.
I just want people to know the fight isn't over. This is just the beginning. You know, I didn't lose one child that day. I lost 2. Because Christina will never be the same.
The union representing Trooper Baldner says it is preparing for this case to proceed and preparing for this trial. Monica's mother saying she hopes he gets convicted and put in prison so he doesn't do anything like this ever again. In downtown Brooklyn, I'm Jessica Cunnington, News 4, New York.
All right. So, this is the 3rd time this pig then took his vehicle and rammed people. All right, let's keep that on the front low. So we're not gonna overlook anything whatsoever. And again, I have my suspicions. Oh, I'm gonna bring it, my royal family. So, I'm going to play this video so we can get much deeper into this case. Much, much deeper.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me bring your attention to something that has not received the national attention that it deserves. A New York State trooper killed an 11-year-old child. This New York State trooper pulled over a family of four, a father, wife, and two children, 11 and 12. He pulled them over for speeding. It was supposed to be a traffic ticket. It ended up being a death. That state trooper is identified as Christopher Baldner. Let me give you some background to this. Back in December, this family was pulled over by that trooper. There was an argument between the driver, a black male father, and the trooper, according to the report. The driver said, "Can you please call your supervisor?" That's part of the protocol, ladies and gentlemen. You can request a supervisor. It is part of their guidebook protocol. Well, instead of getting a supervisor, this trooper continued to argue with this father. Went back to the squad car, according to the report, cursed at the family. The wife said she was tired. The trooper said, "I don't give a F if you're tired." Just continued in that same aggression. He went to the squad car, comes back, and he decides to spray mace into the vehicle indiscriminately, spraying the father, the mother, and the 11 and 12-year-old in the backseat of the car. Instinctively, the father, in fear of his life and the life of his family, said, "This cop is out of control." And he proceeded to pull away from all of this pepper spray being sprayed, harming his entire family. Well, this cop decided to break policy, got behind this family. He has already seen there's a wife and two children in the car, and he rammed their vehicle, not once, but twice. He ejected the 11-year-old daughter from the car. She died at the scene. She's dead today. She's no more. Look at this beautiful young soul. She's dead over something that should have been a traffic ticket. He was screaming at me. "You were going 100 miles per hour. You shook my car." That's according to the father. I said, "The tractor trailer in front of me shook your car. I had my hands on the steering wheel. I didn't get out of the car. I was no threat to him," Goods said. "I asked for a supervisor." The father's name is Tristan Goods. Tristan Goods, 39 years of age, told the New York Daily News that he was driving his wife April and his daughters 11-year-old Monica and 12-year-old Tristina to go and visit family. My wife said she was tired, and he said, the cop, "I don't give a if you're tired," Good recalled. The trooper returned to his cruiser, and when he returned, he flooded Good's SUV with pepper spray. Bonner records records show gave chase and used his state police car to ram the back of Good's SUV. About 8 seconds later, Good said Bonner rammed his car a second time. Let's bring up a picture of this father with his daughter. This young man, 39 years of age, was trying to simply protect his family from an out-of-control cop. I've done some research, and I found that this police officer, this state trooper, violated company policy. He violated the policy of the New York State Troopers Division, because their policy says you do not utilize aggressive tactics and give chase or utilize ram maneuvers in an unsafe manner where they could harm innocent civilians. It is clear that even if he's guilty of a traffic offense, he's not a felon. He has no weapons. He is not trying to commit any crime whatsoever. There are children in the car. Do they not qualify as innocent civilians? If the black man is not an innocent civilian, does not his wife perhaps qualify as an innocent civilian? This trooper violated policy of his own workplace, and an 11-year-old girl is dead today because of it. What do you think happened to him? Do you think he got fired? No. Do you think he got arrested? No. He still has his job. He's on desk duty to this very moment. And this is why people get pissed off about cops and stories like this. Who in the hell can violate a company policy, and that violation leads to the death of a child, and you still have your job the next day? None. There is no profession, none, except for policing. There is a wrongful death suit that has been filed. The Attorney General of New York has launched an investigation into this. To talk more about it, to break it down with me, I got my big homie, Big Woznia, Tuesday and Wednesday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Remarkable host, great writer for The Ringer, TheRinger.com. Big Woz, tell me, brother, am I seeing this wrong?
No, you're seeing it exactly right. And I think the last point you brought up is the most important one about you violate company's policy and it results in the death of a child. You killed a kid in the course of doing your job incorrectly, and yet you get to keep said job. And, people watching this at home need to understand that I'm somebody who advocates for workers' rights. I don't believe that you should just lose your job for any old reason, right? Because we see people lose their job for, quote unquote, embarrassing the company in public, for Facebook posts, for this, for that, for the most innocuous things. This policing, it's one of the most important jobs that we have because we empower these people with the right of the state to kill, right? Like, we empower these people with the ultimate power. And so therefore, they should be held to the highest of standards. The standards that it takes to fire a guy who works at McDonald's for burning a burger or something cannot be much lower than that of a police officer who can behave in this way and kill a child, right? And again, what would be the justification for pursuing these people with such force that they might be allowed to run free from a traffic ticket? Would that be so bad for society? Like, we're not talking about some axe murderers or some people who escaped prison and killed some people before. These are people accused of going over the speeding limit. And this person pursued them and literally ran them off the road. And in the police statement, it said, oh, well, the girl wasn't wearing her seatbelt. That's what they said. It's unacceptable.
Tremendously unacceptable. And remember, the father pulled over in compliance to the traffic stop. The officer was out of control, according to his reports. And given the fact that the officer broke policy, violated protocol of the State Troopers Division of New York, and decided to kill an 11-year-old girl and put an entire family at risk, I would say the troopers' credibility is definitely in question. And I believe the family. I believe what the family said, right? So you have a situation now where the trooper still is getting paid. The trooper is on desk duty, and there's an 11-year-old girl dead. And if you can't understand, and I'm talking to everyone who's always pro-police, if you can't understand the division right here, that it should not be this difficult to apply a common sense standard to a violation of policy that led to the loss of actual life. But here's what you have. You have these civil servant protection rules that are there because of police unions. You have these qualified immunity rules that are there because of police unions and politicians who are willing to justify them. And now you have literally a killer still carrying a badge and a gun legally, a kid killer at that. All right.
Yeah, I just want to say one last thing, because a lot of this is about police culture. This guy would not act this way if he didn't feel wholly protected and, sort of absolved from anything he does on duty. You don't behave this way if you believe that there will be consequences to any of your actions. And so when you have a culture where accountability does not exist, people behave like people who will never be held accountable for anything that they do. If you run somebody off the road and kill an 11-year-old child and you know you will never be held accountable, this is what we get. The lack of accountability is what breeds this culture. This is a culture of policing. This is why these people go out and behave the way that they do.
Very well said.
Yes, very, very well said. So, let's go back here for a hot second. So I said that I would go back over some of this article. So I got my suspicions with this attorney general. All right, let's keep her in mind. And let's go here. Oh, I love this. Oh, I love this when they in orange. You know how hard this is to find my royal family? Very hard. So he's charged with 1 count of murder, another count of manslaughter, and 4 counts of reckless endangerment. All right? So that leaves the door open to many things. I got my suspicions. Oh, I'm going to reveal it. I'm going to reveal it. Because there's some stuff popping off. So, now when you go further into this article, back in September 6, 2019, he's done this before. But according to my research and also what we heard, this is his 3rd occasion of doing this. Well, who was the attorney general at that time? All right? So you know his behavior, the entire police department and the higher ups. All right? Okay? And you allowed him to get away with that numerous times. What else has he done? What else is in his record? Now, you feel the strong need, because our royal daughter got killed by this pig, to charge him. Now, we know that attorney generals can do whatever they're going to do. They said what you can indict a ham sandwich. And it doesn't matter the race of the attorney general. I ain't excited about shit. You ain't impressing me whatsoever. So, yesterday, she made this announcement. I looked high and low. Y'all know I can find stuff. Anybody that's been following me for the last 6 years, I can find some stuff. But I didn't see no footage, no press conference whatsoever. I had to find an article that she made this announcement. I looked everywhere, couldn't find it. But today I found something. Now this is the bonus of all bonuses. And it will speak for thyself. This is the announcement she makes today.
Intensifying today in the race for New York governor. Attorney General Letitia James left the door wide open today to jump into the race, and it comes one day after public advocate Jumaane Williams announced he's exploring a run himself. Here's News 4's Andrew Siff.
Kathy Hochul has only been governor for about a month, but already today, sharp critique outside her office from someone who could be a potential challenger next year, while downtown, new hints from what could be the most prominent name in the governor's race. Attorney General Letitia James started with some humor at the Association for a Better New York.
So Eric Adams was here last, and he is the Democratic nominee, and here I am, Letitia James, and so who knows?
She seemed to be inviting speculation she'll run for governor.
I want to make a promise that the first, last, and only thing that I will ever consider is what is best for the people of the state and in my country.
James facing that future 8 weeks after her office released the report accusing Andrew Cuomo of sexually harassing multiple women. The governor then resigned. For weeks, Cuomo advisors have pushed back a 25-page letter to state lawmakers arguing the report and the investigation that led to it is seriously flawed and cannot be taken at face value. And a Cuomo spokesman today adding it should raise serious red flags. The AG and her staff duck every time specific questions about omissions and inaccuracies in the AG's report are raised.
Mr. Cuomo has a lot to say on these matters, but he has never taken responsibility for his own conduct.
So many people remained silent while this was going on.
New York City public advocate Jumaane Williams now exploring a run for governor, making the case Hochul should have spoken up while Cuomo faced accusations he covered up the true number of COVID nursing home deaths. The drama playing out now, even though the primary is June of 2022. Today, Mayor de Blasio continuing to hint he might run.
I want to serve. I'm going to figure out the right way to serve and the right time to serve.
As for James, the host of the morning business conference asked directly,
are you running for
So it was
governor?
great. It was a wonderful breakfast.
A spokeswoman for Governor Hochul said today she is committed to transparency and restoring trust in government. Outside the governor's office in Midtown, Andrew Sith, News 4 New York.
All right, my royal family, let me take this down. So she done made her announcement, her plans to run. Take that all the way down. All right? So you want to be in good with black folk because you have made a so-called charge against this murderer who killed our royal daughter. But he's done this before under your watch and you didn't do a damn thing. Now you want to go full throttle. You an opportunist. See, I'm an opportunist too, but I pick and choose my opportunities. You know, I don't want to be a nefarious person off of the backs of stuff like Clark Dew and Candace Owens. But our royal daughter is dead. He's done this numerous times and gotten away with it. So I wasn't going to report that story the way some of us report it and get all giggly and all this type of stuff like that. Because trust and believe, her being an attorney general, she works side by side with the pigs. And for her to even get that position, she demonstrated something to the enemy, letting the enemy know, oh, I have no problem charging my own. But now you want our vote off of her blood. All right? Now, I take joy, don't get me wrong, my royal family, seeing him in this fashion. But remember that article that I'm going to visit again. Oh, I like to rub shit in real deep. So when you charged him, 1 count of murder, another count of manslaughter, and 4 counts of reckless endangerment. So what is it? You never know what type of jury you're going to get. And they can say he didn't do anything. You know? Manslaughter ain't shit. Even murder. Even murder. 2nd degree murder. That's what I should have added because it ain't in here. 2nd degree murder. They didn't charge a bunch of them with murder and get no time whatsoever. All right? So, back to the enemy's supporter. Let's not lose sight of any of this. They playing us. And what did I say in the beginning? Our royal daughter passed at the age of 11. And in the word only, 11 means chaos, disorder, and judgment. That's on them. At the end of the day, it's even on her, and that's even on this pig who killed our royal daughter and damaged the entire family's psyche. There ain't no amount of money that's going to bring her back. We love our folk. But then you got something like this that you got to look at it. Like I often say, my royal family, wherever the story lands, it lands, all right? And this is the way it's landing. It's funky. I will be keeping a close eye on this. So, my royal family, what I need you to do is to render your voice with your beautiful, divine words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe.